Hello and welcome back to this edition of Bayou Time. Again, your host, Keith Whiteside, licensed clinical social worker. Very glad you're joining us. However you may be joining us, we appreciate it. And you know, it's some of these events that take place at this time of year that make it so nice to live where we live. Very excited to welcome to the program Mr. Doug Trish, Vice President. We appreciate it. Thanks for being here.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Doug Trish, of course, Central Lafourche FFA, and so much more, right? We'll let you talk about all of those things. Next to him, Mr. Francis Plaisance. Mr. Francis, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
All right, we appreciate it. And so, Doug, it's one of those things where you were just telling me a little bit about this event that took place. Tell us about how that came to be, that event that took place in April.
All right, well, what happened in April, we got together, a few people. They was doing, my wife works at Track Supply in Raceland.
Okay.
And they was doing the swaps and things, the animal swaps, and they have people come with vendors and come do the craft things.
Okay.
And they wanted to put together something. A couple people got together and approached my wife about putting together a show, a craft show, a fundraising day, where they can take some of the money they would get and donate it back to the high school, to the kids in the Central Lafourche Parish, in Central Lafourche area.
Right.
So they got in contact with us. Myself and my two co-workers, we do the FFA and 4-H at Central Lafourche High School. They got with the junior ROTC instructors, and then with the Lafourche Parish 4-H.
Okay.
And got some of the junior leaders involved there as well. And we got together in April and we did a big day. They had a bunch of craft vendors come out with a bunch of different wares. They had a band that played for a while during the day. They had some, they were taking pictures with the Easter Bunny. And, we got together, like my group sold hamburgers and hot dogs.
Right.
Drinks. The junior leaders did sweets, all kind of sweets and pies and cakes and cookies and things. Junior ROTC was in there with nachos and coffee and cotton candy in the works.
Right.
Like they had all kind of stuff. Popcorn, we had a few different vendors in there with popcorns and things. Mm-hmm. So it turned into a really great day. It was a beautiful day. They had a ton of people came through. So the idea was like, well, man, if we can do this and let's see what we can do and put it together. And so that's when they got together and formed a board and really started pushing to have a big event.
Right.
And that's what it came out to be, the Christmas event.
Okay, very good. And so we're really looking forward to it. Y'all are calling it the 3 C's, right?
Correct.
And so what are the 3 C's, Mr.
Critters, crafts, and cook-offs. Critters,
crafts, and cook-offs. And quite frankly, being from down here, what else could you ask for, right?
Yeah. It kind of brings a smile on some people's face.
Right.
It gets their attention. It's like, what is that?
Exactly. And so it's the Critters, Crafts, and Cook-Offs Vendor Fair. They're calling it the 3 C's. I love the fact that it's a free entry for the weekend.
Correct.
And so Sunday, December the 10th from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock. We're going to be Saturday, 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. And so just so you know, it's going to be a wonderful day. The Crackling Cook-Off kicks off the event, right?
Correct.
At 5 o'clock on Saturday the 9th. And then they have the craft show, the Critter Animal Swap, and the Gumbo Cook-Off, and that's all going to take place at 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock on Sunday. But, Doug, I love this fact that we're doing, and thank you, Jay. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. Trying to find ways to inspire the kids and raise money for the kids is something that's pretty special. I love the fact you probably got a lot of the kids involved in this as well.
Yes, sir. We bring a lot of our kids, a lot of my officer team, a lot of our members. They'll come give us a hand with these things and do some cooking and stuff. And, and just we get the parents involved. They come help out, and then they go check out the crafts, and they do the different things that are there. And it just... It's one of our things. We actually use it for my chapter. We actually use it, me and my coworkers, we get the kids to do this for our National Chapter Award. So not only do the kids get a benefit here locally, but it helps us apply for one of our state awards and our national awards that we can get for our FFA chapter. And it just makes our kids, in my opinion, it makes our kids, appreciate things a little more, work a little harder for things, and get that kind of pride of, we was able to accomplish this and we did this, and we're helping the community all at the same time.
Yeah, and so it helps the school, it helps the kids, it helps the community. That's an all-win situation. And I know the FFA and 4-H, they really focus on being able to teach the kids about kind of how to be one with our natural environment, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
and ROTC as well.
Right. And so it's a wonderful option to really use this as an opportunity. So April kind of raised everybody's eyebrows to go, oh, this went off really well. Maybe, just maybe, we can go a little bigger, right?
Yes.
And just really make this a gumbo cook-off, a crackling cook-off, a critter animal swap-off, and we're going to talk about that and a whole lot more. And then the petting zoo kind of brings it back home, right? For just that connection with the animals.
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Right? So I love the fact that we're able to do that. Thank you, Jay. Again, that's the 3 C's. You can put it back up, Jay. I appreciate that. The 3 C's is free entry all weekend, which is really cool because we got stuff taking place on Saturday and on Sunday. Saturday, December the 9th from 5 to 11, the Crackling Cook-Off. It's going to kick off the event. They got Kings of Neon. Again, free entry for people to be able to come and do that. Sunday, December the 10th, 8 to 4. There's going to be the craft show, the critter and animal swap, which we're going to get into in the next segment because I want to talk a whole lot more about that one. And again, bad behavior band's going to be able to play. And then we want good behavior from those animals from the petting zoo.
Sure.
And that's going to be $10 for all day. Santa Claus is coming at 11. And so, gentlemen, I love the fact that we can kind of think about really looking at one event. You know, sometimes when you look at one event, you try and make it bigger. It doesn't always work out. You guys have a really good plan set up here. And I got to tell you, I'm sure there's a lot of people, although this is taking place over in Central, a lot of people are looking forward to coming from miles around to be able to do this. Have y'all heard from others that they're excited about being able to do this from other areas?
We got some people that's been contacting. My wife is one of the main contacts
Right.
for this, and I know some of the craft vendors. We got some coming from as far as Walker.
Wow.
You know, they're coming down because they're from the originally
right?
from the area. And
I love it. Hey, guys, I want to talk about that and a whole lot more. We're going to take a short break, all right?
Yes, sir.
Very cool. All right, guys, we're going to take a break. Do that with us. We'll be right back talking about the 3 C's coming up in a couple weekends. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by Parabon General Health Systems, modern technology, and timeless caring. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bork, know your rights. South Louisiana Bank, it's better when we bank together. Waits and Downer, attorneys at law. Terrebonne Ford, built Ford tough. Alford and Associates, for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality.
Hello and welcome back to this edition of Bayou Time. Again, your host, Keith Whiteside, licensed clinical social worker with Terrebonne Home Care. Very glad you're joining us. However you may be joining us, we appreciate it very, very much. Talking about the 3 C's, really excited as we welcome back to the program Doug and Francis. And, you know, this idea of being able to do this came from an idea over in April. Thank you, Jay. The 3 C's, just for those of you that maybe you're just tuning in, Critters, Crafts, and Cook-Offs. It's a vendor fair that's going to be hosted by the 3 C's. It's a free entry all weekend. It is going to take place. Let's tell people where it's going to be.
it's going to be at the Visitor Welcome Center underneath Overpasses and Racing.
And so if there's ever a venue that's easy to find, that is it. And we're very glad to be able to have that right now that they've been able to do some work to it since the storm and really kind of get everything back in shape and being able to do that. And so that's going to take place. It's on December the 9th and December the 10th. It's all day. Friday, 5 p.m. to 11 is the Crackling Cook-Off. So you got to tell me about the crackling. I got to know. I'm sure there are people that take a great deal of pride in their crackling. And so have you had good experiences with that?
Well, I can tell you, I grew up, my dad used to cook gratons or crackling.
Okay, yeah, the gratin.
And, so, we learned how to do them when we was younger. My uncle still does a really good job with them. And, they do a lot of these festivals where they do a crackling cook-off.
Okay.
They do have a lot of success with them. A lot of people get into it, and they take this pretty seriously, just like anybody would a gumbo.
Right, gumbo cook-off, jambalaya cook-off, all of those things.
They take it pretty seriously, and everybody's got their own kind of a little different way of doing things.
Their own little twist, right?
Yes, sir.
Very good. And so that's going to take place on Friday. On Saturday the 9th.
Right.
And then that's going to really cook off the event. And then Kings of Neon, a really good band. Mm-hmm. Really excited to hear that. And then on the craft show that's going to take place at 8 o'clock. And again, this is one of those vendor fairs that we're allowing on Sunday. And then we got the gumbo cook-off too. So I know, Francis, people are pretty excited about being able to share their gumbo. Well, is there different types of gumbo that people are going to be able to cook for, or is it one gumbo event?
There's going to be different types.
Okay.
Okay. It's whatever they want to cook, as long as it comes out a gumbo, and it's good.
Oh my. Well, you know, for most people down here, both of those things, they know how to cook gumbo and they know it's going to be good. And so I love the fact that, you know, any type of gumbo that they want to cook, right?
Right.
And they need to be able to do the gumbo there,
Right.
on site,
Right.
and be able to do
testing.
that.
People can come around, they test and taste
Okay.
it and see how they like it, and we'll judge it at the end.
Okay, very good. Judging at the end of the day. Is there a certain time that needs to be finished, the gumbos? Do they need to be cooked by a certain time?
I want to say it's somewhere up towards 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock or so.
11:30.
Okay, yeah. And I know that starts around 8. So
Right.
3.5 hours, that's the perfect time for gumbos to be finished, which is really good. And then I want to talk about this critter animal swap. So let's talk about how that works, if you don't mind, Doug.
Okay, the way it works out, what happens is if you have some, like if you raise some chickens at the house, or if you've got some goats or some pigs or what have you, you can bring them. And I mean, obviously, like, you know, like a hogs, for example, if they were a little smaller, it's easy to handle them. But, you know,
Right.
you bring them and when they do the swaps at the Tractor Supply, basically what they do is people will come, they'll register with, and they'll set them up, and then people walk by, and sometimes they actually do just that. They'll swap animals with each other. Man, I've got these chickens. If we can swap with the ones you got, because I don't have this breed. Or they'll do like, you know, sometimes they'll sell them. You know, it's a little sale.
I give you 2 chickens for a small pig.
That's right.
It can be-
Or somebody comes, like,
be
you know,
goats.
we've been there,
Right.
when we've gone and done like a blood drive or something, and we had Tractor Supply, and my FFA chapter is selling hamburgers and stuff, and
Right.
even hamburger stores who donate blood. We'll, like, I've had a couple of my kids, can we go walk and look at the animals? Yeah, man, go ahead. And they'll go walk, and they're coming back carrying a rabbit, or they're coming back with a cage with some chickens in it because they just bought some chickens, or they just made a deal about for something. And that's pretty much where it comes from. Like, you just kind of,
Okay.
that barter system, or that little swap system, or even
Right.
if you're buying them,
Right.
just to kind of move some animals around and move things along and help each other out.
Well, and you're not only helping people out, but you're also teaching them how to care for different types of animals, right?
Yes, sir.
And that ultimately is that we're trying to help each other. I mean, I know a lot of people that now they have chicken pens. You know, they have a chicken run in there. My cousin's got a chicken run in his backyard.
They do the chicken runs and the chicken trains and stuff.
Yeah, and so they got a hen house and a chicken run around his garden.
There you go.
You know?
Yes, sir.
They're all named after famous songs. And so it's just kind of really neat that, you know, they have great band names and great song names for some of the chickens. And so and being able to do that and do that animal swap, to be able to kind of share, you know, if you've got chickens and now all of a sudden, oh, we thought about doing rabbits now, you know,
We also
or a different type of chicken. Go ahead, Mr.
Have
Francis.
the petting zoo,
Right?
and that's like the all-day thing, and the kids love that.
Right?
So they'll be able to do that and enjoy it. We have a kangaroo that we'd like to talk about because
Okay,
it's like,
let's talk
he's
about the
from down-
kangaroo.
He's from down under.
There's down to Bayou and then there's down under,
There's
right?
down under,
Right?
correct.
He's from way down to
Australia,
Bayou.
way down to Bayou. That island called Australia, right? And so a kangaroo, right?
We're also going to have some other things, just like games
Okay.
for the kids.
Okay.
Carnival games. We have
Nice.
that coming in.
Okay.
Tough time of the year to get rides, but
Right.
eventually we're going to work that out too.
Okay, very good. Well, I love this idea that it grew out of just this thought where you had an event and an option that happened in April. And now we make something much bigger, you know, with all of these different options on a Saturday night and a Sunday all day. And again, it's called the 3 C's as we wrap up here. It's Critters, Crafts, and Cook-Offs Vendor Fair. It's going to take place on Saturday, December 9th, Sunday, December 10th. And it is going to be at the Cajun Bayou Visitor Center right there on Highway 1 and Racing, right underneath the bridge. You don't want to miss it. Petting zoo all day. And in fact, kids can go out and they're going to pet some animals and probably want to go either swap or buy some animals.
That's right, that's right.
And then having those critter animal swap and gumbo cook-off, Bad Behavior Band on Sunday, Kings of Neon on Saturday. Really going to be an enjoyable time. Really glad that y'all are doing this. And the funds are going to go to the kids, and eventually it's going to help out in the scholarships that are going to work out down the line. Doug, Francis, we appreciate y'all being with us today.
for having
Look
us.
forward
Thank
to
you
a
for having us.
wonderful event and lots of people, hopefully beautiful weather as well.
Come out and
Thank
see
you.
us.
All right, very
See
good.
us, guys.
Yep. All right, guys, that will do it for us in this particular segment. Don't go anywhere. A lot more local programming right here on HTV.